Welcome to the Threads of Faith Bible study, where each of these 6 stories include an item of fabric. Through looking at these stories, we can discover how God is at work in the Bible stories and in our lives. One day, Adam and Eve and their 2 kids, Cain and Abel, were walking around their family grounds during the cool evening breeze when Abel said to Eve, "Mama, why do Cain and I have to wear these linen tunics when you and Dad get to wear the leather robes?" Eve turned to Abel and said, "You think that your linen tunic is less valued than our leather robes, but I tell you that your linen tunics are a sign of the future. For we have learned how to grow flax, how to treat it so that it can become thread, how to weave that thread into fabric, and then how to sew that fabric into tunics. So much work has gone into what you are wearing right now. But these leather robes that your father and I wear, these are a sign of the past. And these fig leaves that we wear around our belt are signs of an even further past." Then Cain said, "Mama, tell us again the story of how God gave you your leather robes." So Eve said to them, "A long time ago, before either of you were born, God created your father and I and placed us in the Garden of Eden. It was there that God gave us all of the fruit that we could eat. There were fruit trees everywhere. And they gave us animals that we loved. God gave us one command: not to eat of the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And for a long time, we simply ignored that tree and enjoyed our lives. But then one day, a serpent came along and told us that if we ate of that tree, we wouldn't die, even though God had told us so. So then we looked again at that tree, the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, and we saw that the fruit was beautiful. Oh, and we could see that it would taste good. So both your father and I ate of that tree. And then our lives changed. In an instant, we knew that we were naked. And so I tried my best to sew some fig leaves together, but I was not skilled enough to make an entire outfit out of leaves. So we were barely covering with a loincloth. So during the cool evening breeze, not dissimilar from how it feels right now, God was walking about the garden, and we were ashamed. We felt guilty and embarrassed, so we hid. And God called out to us. God asked Adam, your father, what had happened. And before he knew it, Adam was blaming me. And then before I knew it, I was blaming the serpent. Neither of us admitted our fault. So then God changed all of the rules. God told that serpent that it would no longer have legs, that it would slither along its body. And God told me that giving birth to you two would be a lot harder than it might have been before. And God told your father that he would have a hard time farming the land. Then God gave us these leather robes so that we could be fully clothed, so that we didn't have to walk around embarrassed anymore. And then God sent us out of the Garden of Eden, never to return. Then Abel asked, "Do you regret it? Do you regret eating from the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil?" And Eve said, "I regret how eating of that fruit broke my relationship with God. We knew how much God loved us, and yet we did not follow the one rule that God gave to us. But I don't regret all of the knowledge, all of the wisdom that I have now. I certainly don't regret having you two. And this wonderful farm that we have built together. Our lives are harder because of what your father and I did that day." Then Adam said, "Maybe there could have been another way to build this farm, to have you two without ever hurting God, without ever breaking our relationship with God. Maybe there could have been another way." Amen.